Hello and welcome to the Pickup WNBA podcast. I'm your host, Catherine Eicher.
And I'm your other host, Freddie Reece. What's up?
And this is episode 126, baby.
126, baby. Whether you have a baby or not, you should make sure to follow us on all social media accounts. We're talking Blue Sky soon enough. But the big ones are YouTube and Insta, the Pickup WNBA pod. Make sure to follow us, subscribe, like our stuff, give us some love. We honestly have just been really in a nice growth period. I sound like a corporate weirdo, but in a nice growth period for a while now, and it's because of like your listener, the listeners, and sharing, and
Yes.
it's great. We also are still rocking this ACAST Sonar survey, so fill that out, give us some feedback, hit us up, and hopefully we'll I don't know, soon enough get, I guess, like better advertisers and people that maybe if you're listening to ads, hopefully ads that are like for you and not just like annoying.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks everybody. And I think also this is a good time to very quickly shout out, pardon me, the people who are playing our fantasy league.
Yes.
So yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome to talk to people who listen to the pod. It's awesome to see people's opinions on who should go where and when. Me and Catherine are currently losing in our week. We are our team name is Hire Us Engelbert. And we're up
Good
against
job. Good job.
Ellie Vate Your Game, which is also a
Yeah, that's
wonderful
great.
name. Here's our team. We drafted 8th out of 10. So listen, don't judge. But we're doing okay. Sophie Cunningham, Dana Evans, Dearica Hamby. That was for Catherine, even though it was fully an auto draft. Um, I just picked up Bridget Carlton because we drafted
Oh, good.
Laisha Clarendon, who's a free agent and hasn't been picked up by a team. So
Oh,
she's not
interesting.
in the
Yeah.
W, or they're not in the W right now. And then Olivia Nelson Adota, Kayla McBride, Jonquil Jones. That was our first round pick. Brittany Griner, Dominique Malonga. That was my homer pick, and Rachel Banham, who was also a pickup.
So
And
sorry, go ahead.
yeah, that's our team.
One thing that we need to tell everyone is that you set the date and the time for this draft,
Yes.
and then you weren't there. And then you were messaging me like, "Hey, I thought you were gonna be there."
Well, I thought we
And
were
then
both going
we
to be
ended up
there.
auto drafting, and I'm like, "You picked Friday at 2 p.m. Like, I'm at work. Like, what do you mean?"
Like it had to happen. It all had to happen quick. And I tried to renew my passport, and it was the only time my wife was like, "Listen, you got to go. You got to go now." And I'm like, "Okay, okay, okay." And then we went to get my passport, and it was taking too long. And I sort of thought you would have been there to like cover, and then I could sort of like take over the wheel. And then, you know, I wasn't able to sign in. I got in there, and we drafted 2 people, and folks were sort of like ripping on me, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is horrible." But listen,
How are they ripping on you? I wanna know.
well, they were like, "Of course." Someone said like, "Of course they're taking Hamby," which I guess is sort of ripping on you,
Yeah,
Catherine.
maybe.
Um,
Although we
and,
didn't actively take Hamby. It was
yeah, we did
completely auto
exactly.
drafted. Yeah.
And just making fun of me being late for my own draft.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm pretty happy with the team. And it's fun having a fantasy team. Like ESPN's different than Yahoo, but it's been good so far. Uh,
Awesome.
yeah. So shout out, and we got, I think there's at least so far there's at least like 3 countries involved in this draft that I know of. So that's kind of cool.
That's really cool, and
Yeah.
shout out to everyone participating. We'll have to do, like, 2 leagues next year, I
Yeah.
think, just
We
to get
will. Yeah.
everyone involved. Maybe you run one and I run one.
Well, I thought we could do
Maybe
more than
the way
I
to
thought it
do
would
it.
be at least 12 teams. So I think in total we had around 17 or 18 people.
Yeah.
check in. And so, yeah, if you're one of the 8 people that aren't in the league, we're sorry. We didn't realize that, people were gonna jump in like this. But, I also wanna shout out, just going back to the actual league, I just wanna shout out, who's got the best teams so far. So Reese's Pieces, has them. Yeah, there's some
I
great
love
na
these I
yeah,
love these names.
yeah. Yeah, there's some great names. But yeah, Reese's Pieces is has the most points so far. So whoever,
Okay.
is the
Shout
GM
out
of that
Reese's
league,
Pieces.
shout out Reese's Pieces.
That's fantastic. We've got a lot to, get into today.
Yeah,
Speaking of,
huge opening weekend.
yeah, speaking of Reese's Pieces, there's some Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese drama, blah,
Of
blah,
course,
blah.
right?
Yeah, of course. But first, we're gonna talk about early hot takes this season so far. So, it's only been a couple of games, right? We're just less than a week out of the first week of the season. Freddie, what is your first hot take so far?
So this isn't a new take for me, which feels like I'm cheating a little bit, but I think it's a hot take in the sense where it's a feeling I had, and the early performances have very much reinforced this feeling, and that is that the Mystics will not be bad. And my hot take is that they're going to make the playoffs.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah.
See, okay, I interpreted this question as, like, doubling down on a take we've already had.
Oh,
So
great.
this
Well,
is
then
this
that's
is
certainly
good,
what I'm doing.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's the Mystics' record so far?
Mystics record. Oh, I was
I
just
know they've
looking at it.
won 1 game.
I think they're 1-1. Let me just double
Yeah,
check.
I mean, it's so early still.
Yeah, there's like, yeah, the Liberty have only played one game, right? So,
Yeah,
so Mystics 2-0.
2-0.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
great
is,
start.
whatever, right? I mean, great start. Like, I guess that's all you can do. But, yeah, I think it's to me, it's less about the actual, like, results, and that we talked about them needing to do well in this draft, and it really looks like, they've hit on the draft. Like,
Right.
Iriafen and Sonia Citron looks like straight up fucking awesome. Like, she looks incredible, and I think for people who watched her in college, they're like, "Yeah, she's awesome." Paige got all the love, but Sonya's awesome. But, like, Sonya really looks ready for the W. And then, yeah, then, other than that, the team's just, like, really well rounded, and they're competitive. Like, they beat the Sun, and then they beat, who else did they beat? I'm losing it right now, but, yeah, we're like, they look like they're just playing really competitive basketball. Even their preseason was competitive. So my hot take is that the Mystics are gonna be better
Playoff
than people.
bound.
Playoff bound, 8th seed.
I love this take. This is a good one. Mine is, doubling down on a take we had earlier, and that is, when we talked about like long shots for MVP, I
Mhm.
picked Kelsey Plum.
I knew you were gonna go here.
And I was absolutely right about this. Kelsey Plum's numbers, I mean, again, so short, but they've jumped. I mean, she had like a 31 point game to start the year. I think it's, hold on. I've got too many stats in front of me. But right now, her current average is 27 points, 5.5 rebounds, or it's 5.5 assists, my apologies, 2 rebounds. I mean, her career average is 14 points and 2 rebounds and 4 assists. So she's up in like almost every statistical category so far. And we talked about, MVP being a narrative driven award. And I feel like the narrative for Kelsey Plum, maybe not to win MVP, but possibly a most improved player or something like that, or to be like third in votes. I think this is realistically in the conversation now.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. Kelsey played 1 year of her career without Asia Wilson, who is this
Right.
generational MVP, like, already in the category of, like, one of the best W players of all time.
Mhm.
And, not just that, she played for stacked teams. Like, obviously, when we first started watching, like, the aces were coming, and then, really sort of through the pandemic, they became this sort of like, yeah, like, mid post-pandemic, they became the team. Before the Liberty were here, right? Like, they just were so, so, so dominant, and I think if you play for such a star-studded team. Oh, yeah, well, they had Liz Campage as well. Like, if you play for such a star-studded team, like, you're just gonna be hyper efficient and dominant, and I think she now has the opportunity with the Sparks to be, yeah, less efficient, but just like a real, like, volume player, and
Mhm.
is right at that age. Like, I think she really is a legit. I think there's, yeah, a bunch of reasons that I don't see her actually winning the MVP because of Sparks' record, blah,
Correct,
blah,
and
blah.
to be clear, I don't see her winning MVP.
But she, most improved for sure is in the running, and I think, like, all W team perhaps is in the
Yeah,
running, like, for sure she's headed towards a statistical explosion, like,
yeah,
at the very least.
yeah. Completely agree. I mean, it's nice to be right about something, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe
You
we'll
you
have more hot takes as the year goes
you
on,
you
but
say you say that as if you're wrong about so many things.
aren't I?
I don't know. Listeners, let us know, what's Catherine wrong about? Should she feel like shit? Um
I already do, so it's fine.
She already
Uh,
does. Rub it in.
oh my okay, let's move on. The Valkyries debuted.
Yeah.
The Valkyries are here. Really exciting time for the league. You know, we haven't seen an expansion team in quite some time. You know, it was a great day, great celebration. Some of the, Warriors players were there, a couple other, local celebrity types, everybody in the like in the merch. It was cool. It's like really cool to see the team. Freddie stumbled upon a really interesting article about I guess their origin story and like different things that have taken place in order for this team to be here today that maybe we didn't know before. So maybe Freddie, you can run off some of these factoids for us.
Yeah, so this is kinda just like a welcome Valkyrie, uh, topic from us, sort of thing, and, I want to shout out, Alan Cesaro, in San Francisco for this Guardian article that, I'm getting most of this info from. So, yeah, first of all, it's exciting to have a new team, and, they sold out their home opener against the Sparks, 18,000, which is absolutely incredible. The first thing that I that, this article's a lot of it's about, like, the history of women's basketball in the Bay Area, and yeah, for sure, there's, like, there's celebrities, there's Silicon Valley, there's Ali Wong, like,
Mm.
there's money here, right? This is something that we knew, so, like, that's, like, I think, like, the current backdrop. But I thought something that was pretty cool was that, first of all, I love a good nickname. So, fans are calling them Ball Holla
Okay.
instead of, Valkyrie's Ball Holla. Like, that's just dumb. I love it. That's good shit. Uh,
Okay.
so, anytime a team like Valkyries have a nickname and the nickname's better than the actual name, that's just weird, good sports stuff that I'm always here for that stuff.
Okay.
So I will be calling them Ball Hollow from here on.
Okay. All right.
Also, I thought it was cool. So the San Francisco Warriors, this is like older NBA team. They, way before the Golden State Warriors. Uh, Drafted the first ever uh female player to the NBA.
What year was this?
This was in 19 uh was it 1969? Um yeah, 1969. So
Imagine if this song "Summer of '69" was about her, buddy.
buddy, maybe it is. It was the summer of '69, Denise Long. Uh, that's her name. Oh my god, it's like that Beatles song where they're like, "Paul McCartney's dead." Um,
What?
there's a Beatles song if you play backwards where they're like, "Paul McCartney's
Oh, I'm
dead."
like, "What is this?"
It's weird. If you're a hardcore Beatles person, you're like, "Oh my god." If you don't know the Beatles well, you're like, "What in God's name's Freddie talking about?" But, I know some of you Beatles folks out there, were like, "Yeah, we'll appreciate that comment." But anyhow, this is, so Denise Long, this is this weird, interesting point for women where there wasn't a professional place to go. So in high school, Denise Long scored multiple 100-point games.
That's crazy.
That's absolutely ludicrous, right? And anyways, the Walter Kennedy, who was some shitty owner of the NBA at the time, pre David Stern, said that she couldn't play because of gender and because she's in high school and whatever. So that sucked. But I thought it was a cool thing, and so she helped to launch uh, women's basketball in the Bay Area, called Dally City was is a nearby city. So she kind of like set that basketball stuff in motion. And then the other thing I thought was cool was Joel Lakeup has been trying. I didn't realize has been trying to pursue a women's basketball team well before sort of like what we know of him as the Warriors guy. So I thought that was pretty cool. So the San Francisco Pioneers, the Women's Professional Basketball League, um, made Oakland native Anna Johnson the first professional women's player from the Bay Area. So that was like kind of a significant uh, like moment in women's basketball history there. And then there's a couple teams that were put forward by Lake Up that failed. And these are just like I love throwing out like weird names as well. So the San Jose Lasers, and then I know, right? Then the San Jose Spiders, and then other part sort of goes into the Palo Alto Dynasty, and then yeah, there's some more stuff here, but it just sort of rounds into focus like the current momentum of yeah of women's basketball in the Bay Area, and also having the first ever Asian American head coach in the league. So a lot of cool things happening here. It's an exciting time for the Bay Area, and welcome.
Yeah, well done, Freddie.
Yeah, if you're
Zelda
watching it,
Zelda also claps for you.
yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, Zelda also claps. So shout out
Zelda,
Zelda.
my puppy. Okay, let's talk a bit about some stuff in the news this week. So, we debuted the season with the Indiana Fever versus the Chicago Sky. Things got a little heated between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. It ended up being a flagrant foul on Caitlin Clark in a tech, I believe, or it was a double tech on Reese and Aaliyah Boston. And then post game, they basically talked about it being a basketball play and move on. I mean, they both had their own way to say that, but that's essentially what they said. But then later it came out that racist comments were being directed towards Angel Reese, and the league put out a statement saying they are investigating this. Um, and obviously that they don't tolerate it, which is good that they responded quickly. No timeline on the investigation. So we don't know if this is lip service or if an actual investigation is happening. Um, and we don't know exactly what was said. I don't know how much it matters, but we don't know the particulars of that either. Obviously, here on this show, we don't tolerate racism. We don't support racism in any way. We support all players of this league. I don't even call these people fans when they are being racist because I just don't know how you can like basketball and be racist at the same time. That's just such an ick for me. We've talked about this on the pod before, but we couldn't not mention it because it was such big news and was going everywhere. Um, I could go on, but Freddie, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this is both not new and kind of something that can't be tolerated. So I think the league really has to They have to focus in on an actionable thing to do here, right? So you can talk to the you can say to the cows come home that you're going to not tolerate racism and you're this is a league where it's unwelcome and it's it doesn't reflect our fan base and you can sort of say all these things, but as these incidents pile up, it gives confidence to folks who are coming at their fandom from a racist angle. uh I feel like I'm talking up the Guardian a lot, but I was um when I was like looking into this, there was a
Why
headline.
don't you just marry the Guardian?
I'm trying to, but it's just a newspaper. Um, but, yeah, like, they had a headline that just said, how Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark how the rivalry is a mirror for American racism
Oh
currently,
boy.
and, yeah, I think it is, right? And we obviously, it started in college, and through Caitlin's name, we're seeing we're seeing I think we should be clear too, white racism and anti-black racism, right? We're not seeing, you know, bigotry the other way. We're not. So I think like when we're talking about racism, it's anti-black racism. And yeah, so that like, through Caitlin's name and she's spoken out about it. Most of the white players in the league have spoken out about it. So I think it's on the W to not just kind of release these messages that say they sort of finger wag at racism. They have to find a way to nip this in the butt as best possible, whether that's making an example of people like this or whatever. But yeah,
I think the solution to this is really simple. I think a player, like, first of all, especially with these Indiana Fever games, because Caitlin's so big and they're always playing in front of bigger crowds. You have to have a certain level of security, right? At the front. And I think a player should just be like, hey, this person needs to leave. And security goes, hey, you out. And that's it. Like this doesn't need to be more complicated. Right now, if a player doesn't know who, but just knows the general direction, they can say, hey, look out for this section. They're harassing me and it's not cool. And it goes beyond regular, trash talk. Right? Like I think this is all it needs to be. And then it's like, hey, you did this. We saw you do this. And you know, they're banned from games. Simple as that. It doesn't I don't know. I don't think this needs to be like, oh, we're investigating, blah, blah, blah. Because how are you going to find out days later, who said what? Like, how is that even possible? Like, you need to do it in the moment. I mean, and obviously, you don't want to like delay the game significantly or anything like that. I mean, it could but somehow a player needs to be empowered enough to look at security and be like, that person needs to leave. And then that just needs to happen. And then everything just needs to keep moving forward. That's the way to do this.
yeah, I've seen in the NBA, I've seen it because I know it's happened in Utah a couple times, and
Yeah, with Westbrook.
yeah, so and I've seen it sort of like basically someone gets pointed at and they get thrown
They
out.
get yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah, I wasn't watching this part of the game, so I'm curious, like, why that didn't happen. Like, is that
I don't know.
do you know what I mean? Like, did why is this person not pointed at?
Well,
And
I don't know why it didn't happen, but players need to be able to know that they can do that. Right? Like that's what I'm saying. Like maybe there isn't enough security or whatever. Like I don't know.
right,
Um yeah, and maybe it just wasn't spoken about till after the game because you're just in the heat of the moment and you're trying to play the game. But I think they need to at least know that, hey, If anyone in the crowd is giving you a hard time, these are the people, they're here, 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 or you tell a ref and they find security, that might be even better,
Mhm.
and keep it moving.
And also I think that, that's a sort of like there's like putting it on the players element, but I think also you could have security that's just like
Well, you have to put it on
captain.
the players to a certain degree because they might be the only ones who hear it.
No, I know, but if you have security up front and you tell that security, like that's like, because there's people who
Because they can't block the viewers.
right, but there's people who stand like basically on the court, you know.
Yeah,
So those people are within earshot for sure.
hopefully they are. Yeah.
Um, so
I know what you mean by putting it on the players, though, I agree. I'm just saying, like, it might have to be.
because during timeouts, like those security members that like stand on the court, they're like right there. They're like, yeah, they're not like sitting front row, but I think they're at a place where they can hear
Yeah, I feel
slurs.
like that's what it's gotta be. Or if they don't hear it or they don't respond, then you tell a ref to tell security, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all this needs to be, and that's what it should be going forward. It doesn't need to be a statement and then a days, weeks long investigation that goes nowhere. Oh, hopefully everyone forgets about it, until the next time they play each other.
Hmm.
So, anyway, I think
Yeah.
that's enough on that.
That's enough on that.
Um, Freddie, it's time to return a beloved segment of ours. It's Badass Player of the Week. Pew, pew, pew. Sound
Meow,
effects,
meow,
sound
meow, meow,
effects,
meow. Badass player
sound
of the week.
sound effects.
Sound effects. Sound effects. Meow, wow, wow, wow.
Freddie, who you got?
Okay, bouncing around here. I mean, it's again, the Liberty have played one game, so this isn't the easiest pick, but I I think I'm starting with efficiency, so I'm gonna go with I go with Nafisa. So Nafisa, first two games is
Sounded like you were gonna pick someone on the Liberty because you were talking about how the Liberty have only played one
oh
game.
no, yeah, sorry, just like that. They like I just feel like the Mercury have also only played one game, but I just feel like when some teams have played two games, like the Liberty are playing as we're recording actually, but yeah, there's just only two games into the season. It feels hard to focus on any
It was
like
very ADHD there. That
oh god,
train of
yeah,
thought. You
oh
were, like,
yeah.
talking about a whole other team, and then you said Nafisa Collier.
But then you jumped in, and then I'm like, okay,
I'm
now
sorry, maybe
now
I
the
shouldn't
ADHD
jump
is
in.
really
I just
popping.
don't I'm sorry, I shouldn't jump in, but I just was like, I hope people don't think that you think Nafisa Collier's on the Liberty.
If they do, honestly, send help. If you've been listening to this podcast and you've
Well, I'm
determined that
just
I think
saying.
Nafisa plays for the Liberty, please send me. We don't have Venmo in
Look, it's the
Canada, but
start of the season, we might have
send me a
new
check.
listeners.
Sure.
Send you a check for being wrong?
No, send me a check because I'm falling apart. Like my brain's falling apart. But Nafisa Collier is my player of the
Okay.
week.
Yes.
Yeah, so 28 and a half points on 56% shooting. Uh, she's shooting 66% from three. Like just like wild, wild efficiency. 5 rebounds a game, 2.5 assists, a steal, half a block. 2.5 turnovers, but that's pretty efficient. And yeah, shout out Nafisa. Like you're just
Even though she wasn't your pick for MVP.
she was not my pick for the
And she's
MVP.
allegedly on your team, the Lynx.
She is on
I'm
my
just
team.
giving you a hard time now.
Oh, you gotta listen. Uh, Caitlin's my MVP. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think Nafisa and Asia, probably Brianna Stewart, are always like evergreen choices for this award. But
Yeah.
I don't have to start off too fancy. I can just give it to the person who's like nasty.
That's great. I have a different pick. And maybe we'll end up mentioning this person again later this season. Who knows? Off to a great start, only one game, which was a deal breaker for you, not for me, is Natasha Cloud of the Liberty. In her debut, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists. This team was already stacked. They're so much better. Like, I just, adding Natasha Cloud is so major for the Liberty. I love to see her off to a great start. I mean, time will tell if this team has any weak spots, but right now, boy, oh boy, the Liberty are the team to beat. And well, obviously, because they're reigning champs, but still, it's like you're a reigning champion, and then you add Natasha Cloud, like unreal.
Mhm.
And great start to the season for her. So that's my badass player of the week.
I love it. Incredible. Fun little set. This early into like yeah, again, like just a couple games in, we're already down to only 4 teams that haven't lost. So you got the Mystics, Liberty,
So
Lynx,
more parity.
Mercury. Maybe, yeah. So, like a lot of one-on-one teams and Sun and Wings are the teams that don't have a win. But yeah, 4 teams that haven't lost. And yeah, it should be fun to think about like who's gonna lose first.
Mm. Okay. Freddie, fun question. Let's go.
FFQ, here we go. No biggie. So the GM, there's a GM survey, right, every year, and it's kind of like who's going to win MVP, who is the player you would at least want to play against, who would you start a franchise with, and this is it happens in a lot of leagues. It's a questionnaire for GMs around the league, and it's anonymous. So I think the idea is to get kind of like unfiltered opinions, unbiased opinions, and it's generally pretty serious. So I thought that we could kind of jump in here and throw something different in the mix. So if you could add something for this survey, Catherine, what would you add?
This is silly and stupid, but fun for me. And that is who either currently or would make the best memoir. Give me
Oh, I love it.
I love a good sports memoir.
I love that.
Yeah. I love a memoir. We got it, who do we need to see? Or maybe it's who do we need to see a memoir from next?
Oh, that's good too.
Yeah, something related to that.
That's fun. That's
Thank
good.
you.
Memoir.
Memoirs.
Wonder who that would be.
I don't
Best
know.
memoir. Because you gotta have lived a life,
You
you
have
know?
to have lived a life.
Hmm.
I don't know, but they would know because they know.
Yeah, that's right. That's
They
that's
would
that's
know.
they know who's interesting. I like
Yeah,
it.
thank you.
Mine is who would have the best special talent, best special skill. And
Is that because you juggle?
I don't juggle.
You don't juggle?
Wait, what you think? Because 'cause I'm a clown? Because I juggle? I'm an art
Yes, I
clown,
think
okay? I don't fuck
because
around with
you're
that shit.
yes, I absolutely think because you're a
No, I ain't no party clown. I'm a change your life special type of clown, okay? I'm a clown, you know what I'm saying? I don't mess around with
No,
that,
that sounds terrible.
okay? I'm a real I'm a legit I'm a profound performer. That's what I do, okay? I'm here to, like I'm
I
here to
absolutely assumed you juggle.
what, you think I ride a tricycle?
No, but you've also done, like, puppetry
Pogo stick?
work. Like, you do stuff like this.
I really juggling is, like, very much in my realm of things I could do, but,
Okay.
I'll cla
Okay.
I'll throw that in the ADHD category too. Like, I don't feel like I can focus on, like, that many balls, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just and then also there's such a, like I feel like it's the type of thing that has you really have to be like clockwork as a person. Like, it's not
It's a different
you
part of the brain.
it's a part of the brain that is, like, not for me, you know?
Right.
Um Like, I've been playing basketball my whole life, and I'm a bad shooter because 'cause I'm, like, not mechanical. Like, I don't do the same thing every time. and
Oh,
I'm
interesting.
yeah, and I'm good at a lot of the other parts of basketball. I'm a good dribbler, good at defense, I'm a good passer. I can, like, read the court very well. But, like, when it comes to pure shooting, for someone who's played as much basketball as me in my life, I should be a way, way, way better shooter than I
So who
actually am.
would you compare yourself to?
As a basketball player,
Mhm.
like a W comp,
Yeah, or NBA comp, whatever you
uh,
feel you can get to.
well, let me throw W comp in, like, obviously, she would absolutely annihilate me in real life, but, like, style, Alyssa Thomas.
Okay. Pretty sure Alyssa Thomas has, like, a decent shot, though.
Yeah, but, like, she'll throw up, like, 12 points a game, 10 she's sort of like a triple double without a lot of points,
Yes, yeah. Okay, I
right?
hear
So, Alyssa
you.
Thomas, Draymond Green is, like, sort of my makeup.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then in terms of, special talents, what kind of special talents are you hoping WNBA players have?
Like, weird stuff, like, yeah, like, okay, juggling, sure, but, like, I think that, um, you never know with athletes, like, people can do, like, odd things, like, maybe someone can, like
Like,
is a really good singer, maybe someone has, like, some gymnast stuff.
see, that's not that odd.
Maybe someone can play, like, a weird instrument or is, a very fast knitter. You don't know.
No one's a fast knitter.
Someone might be,
No, except for the woman who sits at the
right?
Minnesota Lynx
She's
games.
moving fast, okay?
We
She's
don't
gotta
know
go to
how
con
fast she's moving.
she's gotta
She
go
could
to
be
con
taking her sweet time. I feel like that's the whole point of knitting.
she's
You
gotta go to
don't knit to be
concessions at
fast
half.
at it.
She does. She's light speed. And guess what? She's on the pod next week, so you can ask her yourself.
That would be an incredible guess.
Honestly, if you have a connection to this woman and you're a listener,
Yeah, we'd
you
love to have her on
you
the show.
need to hook us up because she would be an absolute I would bump Trudeau, uh, for
What do you
her.
mean you would bump Trudeau?
Like, if Trudeau's coming back, like, now that he's a
Well,
former
that's
prime
yeah,
prime
he's a
minister
former
especially,
prime minister now.
I would straight up be like, "Trudeau, I'm so sorry. We have the knitting lady, and she's a light speed knitter, so we gotta let her on."
No, I would combine the 2. I would introduce Trudeau to her and have us all chat. That's even better.
That'd be great. Yeah.
We all in the round.
Here, here.
Okay, that's a fun one. Thank you everyone for listening, for tuning in. Please remember to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We appreciate you so much. Super excited that the season is here. Freddie, anything else before we sign off?
No, thanks everybody. It's gonna be a very, very fun season. Keep giving us feedback, hitting us up, like, subscribe, follow us on yeah, Insta, YouTube, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next week. And bye
Yep.
Zelda.
Bye. Bye everyone.
Peace.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network. Sonar!